Aboard the impound cruiser, a nervous crew examined incongruous sensor data, and the junior officer rose to the call of duty in action, marching himself to the lieutenant on shift. "Sir," he said, his salute crisp and regimental perfect, "we have an anomaly off of the portside bow, 19,000 kilometers away, slowly on approach." The lieutenant, 8 years in the captain's chair during the off hours of what passed as the night shift aboard the cruiser, raised his uppermost eyebrows in concern. "Describe this anomaly, Ensign," he said, sipping on his lukewarm beverage with a gentle scowl. No force of creation nor manufacture could keep it at a decent temperature for more than an hour, it seemed. "Sir," the ensign replied, presenting a slim data-filled pad, offering it to the lieutenant. "It's a human-made ship, scale for an interstellar convoy, likely to serve as a troop carrier." At that phrase, the lieutenant's scales bristled, his anger reflex rising quickly. The ensign was quick to add, "With zero life support outside of a slight temperature flux, there's no atmosphere aboard it, perhaps in only trace amounts. There's a smaller ship, maybe a third of its size, being towed. Same conditions. No human could endure that, sir." The lieutenant, seemingly unconvinced, then opened up a blue-bound folder kept by the captain's throne-like chair, rifling through it until he arrived at the 95-page section for human concerns. Several references had pieces of paper adhered to them, with varying degrees of urgency in their notation. None had positive mentions. Some were active profanity. "Under ruses, as well as covert operations," the lieutenant said, "there's no mention made of being able to survive this far afield without even trace elements to breathe. If it's on autopilot, I'll admit this seems an unusual move even for the species." The unofficial name for them was the Mad Ones, and the term was not used politely nor in jest. The ensign nodded gravely. "The temperature flux," he continued, "is centered around the drive systems near the fuel intakes, a very crude way to maneuver their ships without an active guidance protocol involved. Our scanners wouldn't notice it before it would be upon us." There was a pause, almost an insolence, then a word appeared. "Sir." To this the lieutenant smiled. An ensign who was creative, and against the much worrisome humans, who had a never-ending well of horrors at their disposal, always masked as idiocy, friendliness, or even weakness. This was none of those. It was a clever plot, now thwarted. "Ensign," he said with pride, "alert the boarding team on shift to ready themselves for action. Full-face rifles, close-quarter melee equipment for all, and bring out 6 of the heavy movers, if you please." With a wide, happy grin, the ensign saluted, giving a chipper, "Aye, sir," before vanishing down the corridor at a full run. Settling back, the lieutenant opened up a quiet comms channel, then entered a diary notation for the day. "Make note, auto-historian," he began. "Tonight we are moving in on a human-designed convoy member which seems to have become lost from its herd, and now we will give it its due and proper treatment. We will avenge the fallen brothers and sisters of the colonies at Earth Prime, Decina Free, and the Denis Here worlds. Oh yes, today it will be historic." Closing the journal entry, he sipped from the tepid beverage, ignoring the chill of it, staring at the glowing orange dot on the view screen as it became larger and larger. In the ready room, 18 troopers, armed and armored, checked their gear, and those of their squad mates, running each item off the list with anger and pride. A cocktail known to all who soldier, regardless of which sun it is under, it seems. "Sergeant," the ensign said, addressing the squad leader, "are you readied for the glorious call to action?" To this, the sergeant, 21 years of blood and mud staining her soul, did not verbally respond, only racked the action on her phased ion rifle, eyes cold and dead. She had met the humans on the battlefield twice, losing an arm the first time, 6 ribs on the second encounter, both instances resulting in biomechanical replacements, much to her shame. She sneered, revealing her iron-coloured teeth, each engraved with a portion of a human-centric slur, suggesting death by the consumption of their own excretia. Her personnel file indicated she was exceedingly effective in conflict resolution. She routinely failed all efforts in learning how to negotiate. Slamming her synthetic hand on the shoulder pads of one of the heavy movers, the operator inside of it rose to their full 3-meter height, extending their arms wide, all 4 of them, each bristling with a sharp-edged implement, of conflict resolution, or the muzzle of a peace treaty's pen. "Who walks this world?" The call and response was immediate and loud. "The gods move through us." "Who is the will of the Empire?" "The gods guide us." "Who are we defending?" "The gods chosen." She grinned and shared her thoughts with her teeth, the action mirrored by the other trained monsters, eager to be released. "What makes the stars die?" "We do! We do! We do!" With a cheer, they grinned, shrieking their hormones into overdrive. The ensign, almost bursting with pride, had seen the demonic forces now at his command. There was a clarion call, a gentle beeping, and an orange light turned blue, and the doors opened. A nightmare followed. What left the doors to board the human ship were 18 highly trained, motivated, and skilled killers, veterans one and all, and what came back was coated in blood, pale, and beyond thought. A month later, the ship was found. No life signs aboard it, only a temperature flux by the drive system. The recovery team was led by a captain enjoying their retirement, working for a salvage operation, answering an automated distress call from one of the Empire's own fleet, a battlecruiser with a crew of 1,329, populated only by stains and memories. An ensign, no relation, looked up from their data recovery module, frowning heavily. "Sir," she said, "there's nothing in the bioscanner. Approximately 8 days ago, the ship's population went from full to 0. It seems to have happened within a couple of minutes." Her tone was concerned, baffled, afraid. The captain, an exile from the front line where he made a choice to retreat from a human advance and absorb the shame of early retirement, paused before he gave a new order. "Evacuate this ship immediately," he said. "Ejector transfer fuel and life support. Cut the tethers by hand, damn you." As he turned, he felt it. Then he saw it. It was 2 meters tall, pale, and smiling. The face it had was coated in layers of old and dried blood, save for a ring around the mouth and a smudge clear from the eyes. His own blood ran cold as he recognized the form. A human. He pointed, and the gun in his hand was held in place as the creature advanced, closing its hands over his, moving the gun to press against his heart, still smiling. "Go ahead, Captain," it said. The softness of his voice the only gentle thing about it. That grip was like steel. "I'll allow you to pull the trigger, just the once, so we can talk." The creature's smile grew a little. The gong sang a high, reedy tune, and an ionized cloud of titanium ejected through it, passed through the creature's torso, and through a hemispherical blob of tar-like goo on the wall behind it. And the creature did not move at all. "Now that we have that out of our system," it said, then removed the gun from the discussion, crumbling the steel frame of it with no resistance offered. The captain closed his eyes, then spoke to the creature. "Spare my crew. Make an example of me, of course, as you wish. Spare their lives." The creature's expression was almost kind, the smile changing to a more friendly variant. "They seem to be lovely people," it said, "and are not carrying weapons. If our understanding of your policies is accurate, that was the only permitted weapon aboard your ship." To this, the captain nodded, baffled. The creature continued. "A little over 5 weeks ago," it said, "there was a ship, the Princess Pride, a cruiser, part of the 3rd Vanguard Fleet. It struck a merchant vessel, crippling it. That ship had my family aboard it." The captain, his expression troubled, tried to speak, only hushed by the creature raising a hand to silence him gently. "Yes, I know, and I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you." It paused, then it continued. "We approached a friendly vessel, one from Earth's colony on Mars, and brokered a new deal, and were able to move aboard it." It sighed. "Then it was boarded by this ship's armed contingent. We made short work of them." There was a pause. "Then we finished what we started." The captain, his face a scowl, shook his head. "You butchered them," he said. the tone an accusation. To this, the creature nodded. That we did. We went through quickly, with no suffering when possible, and made sure to keep them away from the valuables. We plan to leave this ship in excellent condition. It will be the first of a great many like it. Then the creature smiled, showing those horrific teeth. Teeth like nothing the captain had seen before in his encounters with the humans. You want to make a deal? The captain said. To this, the creature nodded. Absolutely, yes. You take the ships, we take the crews. You'll keep the profits, and you don't ask questions. How much is the retail value on a fully functioning ship of the line, Captain? Our estimate puts it at 7.3 billion, adjusted for depreciation. It paused. It will require extensive cleaning, although we will work to avoid that in the future. It smiled a little more gently. The captain, without pause, said, We get the ship, ideally to sell it. You get the crew. Why do you want the crew? The creature smirked, then tapped him on the nose with a long, tapering finger, the hardness of it like steel. That's a question, Captain, and not part of the arrangement. The captain gave this a moment of contemplation. Where can we sell it? The creature gestured in a broad fashion. The Denis buy anything from the Empire, it said. As with the Vrak, if you lowered your standards, there's about 950 ports of call where you can make the sale of this ship for scrap alone, not counting arms merchant fleets. It smiled again, showing those teeth. The captain shivered. We'll take this ship, the captain said, and I'll pitch the deal to the crew. If there's a dissenting vote, our policy is to politely yet firmly tell you no. That's ancient custom, not just law. The creature nodded. On our world there's a similar tradition, so we respect that. We're deeply traditional people. The captain extended his hand in a human greeting, a means of sealing a deal, even informally, and the creature placed its larger, colder hand around his, squeezing it softly. A deal is struck, it said. A pleasure, Captain. When we call you, be ready. There's more business to attend. It walked away, and it passed through a bulkhead vanishing like smoke, and the captain stared. At his side, the ensign handed him a pad, the text highlighting a frozen frame. Captain, the ensign said, her voice wavering, that is not a human. To this, the captain nodded solemnly. No, ensign, it is most assuredly not a human. He slumped into a chair, ignoring the wet lump already occupying it, then examined the data on the pad. The automated system. That's what killed us. When a ship is docked, we send a signal, and the signal is always the same. Welcome aboard. The creatures laughed when they told us we'd let them aboard our ship, and that they were all so very much hungry. Staring at the bulkhead, the captain saw the dozens of creatures moving through it, their bodies with the texture of smoke, insubstantial yet coated in blood, their pale forms diluted by dint of being nearly transparent. The last one to move stopped short, looking into the captain's eyes. I just remembered, it said. I want you to rename this ship. It'll be traditional, and we're such nostalgic types. Call it the Demeter. It was laughing when it vanished through to the ship being towed, and a few moments later, it was nothing except an orange dot vanishing into the distant lights.